we're about to go somewhere odd now. Times to rise and elevation starts to drop down. Our little secret, don't kiss and tell, you're so bad. I'll probably see you in hell. Welcome to hell, baby. This is podcast hell.
Thanks for coming in, boys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Having a little boy party up in here.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you want to call it?
Please don't call it that.
I like a boy party.
Now, we'll be able to keep our fun-loving time we were having before the podcast. Will it translate to a fun pod, or will you guys tighten up? What do you think?
I don't know. You're the host. Maybe
be a good host and we'll find out.
You should probably set the tone.
Wait, why the
I love that you're like, hey, all you victims here on my podcast better make it good, huh?
No, make it good. You guys are the guests. You know how to turn it
You're
up.
gonna be good on this podcast, see?
Yeah, be good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, sir, may I have another? I don't know.
Let's talk about Brad moving to New York.
Oh, Brad.
That feels like the big
move.
the big thing happening in our life.
Yeah, no, that's happening.
What was the final straw in LA?
I mean, I think it was a mix of no industry definitely was bothering me. I think it's just a level of just not being that happy, and I don't know. I kind of just felt like I was plateauing and kind of.
Dude, everybody is so happy in New York. When I think of New York, I think of the joyous people.
Everything runs perfectly.
Oh my God!
Nothing
No
but sunshine.
complaining. Everybody's
summer all
I feel like
year
you're going to
round.
be happy right away.
The tee off though of Rob going, I love Los Angeles, but I know you're going to be miserable back in New York. No, I don't know, man. I think my mind is set in New York as far as how I run around and how I do things. I like being on the go, and I think being in LA on the go is way more expensive and not as conducive to my time.
Oh yeah, cheap, happy New York.
I'm not saying it. First of all, New York is not a fucking Disneyland.
I decided I was sick of having no savings, so I'm making my way to New York City.
I mean, hey, I'm going to save at least $800 not having a car, so I'm fine with that.
I find my friends that have anger issues, the problem is usually the zip code they live in.
Yeah, that definitely is the biggest factor. In fact, when you go to the therapist, that is the first thing they tell you.
Change your zip code, everything will be better.
Where are you living?
You gotta move.
I think New York is better than LA. I think it's objectively that's a fact.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I do not agree with that, but I
like this debate.
I would say there's pros and cons, but the pros lean towards
They're
New
not
York.
the same, though. I think that's the thing that's annoying is you cannot weigh New York's just because they're two big metropolitan cities that happen to have similar industries. They really aren't the same city, so it's hard to be
what's the best? Let's stop the New York LA debate because this has been on every fucking podcast. What about
super relatable?
What city? If you could move all of us to one city, what city are you moving?
By the way, before you answer that question, this is why I wanted you in this chair. I knew it would become Rob's podcast. That chair gives him way too much power to lay back. And
it's got to become.
He feels too fucking comfortable.
It's got to be somebody's podcast.
So I knew it. I fucking knew he was going to be
Somebody's got to make something happen.
Well, we can't switch because you did the sound check.
Yeah, it's too late.
I know. Look, if I could have had my way, Rob would have been sitting on milk cartons just to keep him in his place.
If we were on Rob's podcast, at least there would be XLR cords, and I think that's something we need to discuss.
I like
there would have been XLR cords, and then the video of us would be in the top 1/8 of the Instagram video, crunched up in a dark cave because he doesn't like
not
video
like your video
anymore.
blaring 4K of fat, sad comedians in front of a blank wall. The thing everybody wants.
Hey, hang on! Shut the fuck up! Look, you guys see over there? You see that can of black paint?
Yeah,
right there?
can of Blake.
That's gotta be paint.
Are you gonna paint?
Stop doing. Nobody gets that reference. You've done it on my your podcast too. Nobody knows what you're referencing.
You know what? Maybe
I know what you're referencing.
First of all, you have a bunch of Midwest fans. They definitely know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Do you know what it's gotta be paint meant? What was he doing?
No.
What was he doing?
I have no idea.
I was doing that's gotta be.
He
Kane.
was doing Vince McMahon announcing Kane's appearance in WWF in 1991. That's what he was doing.
It's just a funny voice, dude. Sorry that I like voices and we don't have to be
like 3 straight podcasts.
Okay, sorry. I enjoy it.
Anyway, that can of paint. It's gotta be paint. That black paint. This wall and this wall will be black.
Cut to episode 500.
No,
man, one of
shut
these
up.
days I'm
No.
grabbing that page.
I'm telling you, no. That
One of
paint-
these days, I'm going to paint these walls.
That paint is going on these walls. I'm getting a sign.
Yeah.
Podcast hell, and it's going up above,
Oh,
right in
wow.
the middle here.
Trust me, guys.
that's
He
very
ran the
exciting
branding
for
by
that.
me,
That's-
so he
yeah,
asked my opinion
very
and
good.
didn't fight me on it,
Love
which
it.
was nice.
I think
that's gonna look
that's
great.
been the thing that's been keeping audience away.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the top comments on your YouTube?
Yeah.
The top comment on my YouTube is something that my mom comments when I'm home on her account. And I go, funny stuff, Eric. These fucking douchebags at home won't leave a comment on YouTube. Just one comment, all right?
You know what
One
the
comment.
big medium everyone's trying to break into these days is YouTube. It's a hot new site. You guys have-
YouTube is great, man. You can see whatever you want to see on YouTube.
Yeah.
I can watch X-Pac videos. I can watch a soldier getting his dick cut off in Iraq. I can
you?
can
I don't think you can watch that.
Well, you're right. That's like a darker.
That's like Live Leak.
Who's the guy that shot
think
himself
that's on
on live
Clapper.
TV? You remember that guy?
Oh, the
Bud-
like
Bud-
senator guy or whatever
Bud Dwyer.
in like Pennsylvania.
Wait, what? I didn't hear about
you
this.
never seen the Bud? You never Bud
dude.
Dwyered?
I've never Dwyered in my life.
It's not fun.
It's a little fun.
It's pretty
not-
fun.
It's pretty.
It's fun watching a guy
fun watching a guy
shoot himself
It's
in the
not
head.
It's not fun.
fun.
What is it?
We're
this?
comedians. We're
What is it? What is
joking
this?
around.
What is
You're
this?
right, I'm sorry, I
4chan?
forgot.
Be like, you really got to get on the beheading videos. What are you doing?
He doesn't bet. He shoots himself in the
Shoots
head.
Yeah,
himself
regardless.
on
TV.
live television.
On live TV.
Yeah. But what's crazy is right before he does it, he goes, watch this cool new gun trick I learned. He tries to. People think it's suicide, but he just messed up the trick he was trying to show everybody.
Before he does that, he's telling all his friends how New York's going to be better than
Oh
LA.
yeah,
They're gonna love this in New York.
yeah, and before he does that, he says, "Hey, by the way, I'm painting my studio black."
It's really gonna pop.
When,
Really gonna
like
you guys are gonna look like
my head.
assholes when these walls are all black.
I just
and
love
there's a
how
sign
this was
above.
Eric's bright idea.
All
Being
right.
like, I'm going to get 3 of my most obnoxious friends, and that clearly won't derail anything.
It is gonna be a bright idea. It's gonna be a bright sign.
My fucking god.
How you like that? huh?
dark wall.
I don't want to
So
say.
who's on the guest list? Who's your top guest? If you're getting anybody,
Everybody
big.
that I will have on the podcast has been on in the first 6 episodes.
Oh wow.
So I have no other friends.
So now we got to start shooting for comedians that'll take you seriously.
I have friends back on the East Coast. So like when I'm visiting my family, like I can have some.
Are you talking about
What, are you
the
gonna bring the
begrudging
equipment
New
with
York?
you?
Huh?
You bring the equipment with you?
I do.
Do you bring the table?
I don't. Bring,
You should bring the neon sign. If you're gonna go to someone's place, you got to bring the
this
neon
baby
sign.
packs up.
I see. Well, it's a good amount of black paint. You're gonna need that with you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Wherever
paint
you go.
people's walls
Right.
when you go to their houses.
I will be painting a
Did
black
I-
accent wall on every location.
When Meredith and I flew back to New York last time, we in our row was Jesse Plemons, the guy from Breaking Bad.
Kirsten
Meth-
Dunst's
Meth
husband.
Damon.
And he when the plane when we landed, he got up. He had like a little knapsack that had like nothing in it, and he got off. And I realized afterwards, I was like, oh, I think he just has another house here with all of his stuff. I bet.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, that's fucking awesome.
But
What
could
does
he
that have to-
Could he have checked his bag too? Is that an option?
No, because we had checked bags and
No,
he
he
wasn't there.
wasn't there.
And if you fly, I fly New York to LA a bunch, and because my family lives there, and there's always celebrities on the plane, and all the celebrities know not to check their bag.
Oh, because then they're gonna be.
Brad sleeping during your story.
I'm just.
It was a fine story. I wasn't.
Yeah, I was.
All right, Brad,
I feel like
here comes the winner. Let's hear it. Let's hear your great story. One time I saw a fucking WWE match. Brad sends me 100 WWE clips a day.
Well, first of all, you said you liked old
I
wrestling.
love old wrestling, but there's something very sad about picturing you sitting on the toilet just being like, this is Rob will like this one.
You think, first of all, don't feel too special. It goes to like 5 other people. You're not the only
Well,
one.
the fact that you only said 5 other people, I mean, it's a very small group of tight
Yeah,
friends.
because I know my friends who still like wrestling.
No, but if you had said like, don't feel too safe, or don't feel too special, it goes to like 100 other people. But when you said
First of all,
5,
who the fuck?
you would
First of
still
all,
feel
who the
I do
special.
feel special.
Who
Good
the
point. I do feel
fuck
special.
talks to 100 people?
I don't know.
The Pope?
The Pope.
The Pope?
I was
Yeah.
going to say the Pope.
His
Yeah, well,
podcast
you're
once
not-
that wall gets
Yeah,
passed.
yeah.
Open up your shoulder a little bit to the camera. Fucking amateur hour over here.
He's fucking. He's
Well,
giving
just
you
match Brad. Jesus Christ, stage picture.
But then I can't. But then I can't. Who wants to see my fucking chest?
We all want to. You got it right now. They're
You
looking
know,
at the
I was
back of your
enjoying the
fucking
podcast,
head.
but that fucker with his shoulder.
With his shoulder.
No,
I
it's-
Maybe that's
fucking
actually what
couldn't
I
handle
can't
it.
Eric's
see-
first comments. He goes,
Yeah.
"Who's the dickhead who doesn't reveal his shoulder to
Could
us?"
have been that. I could do that.
I can't see anybody on this podcast.
You just have to. It's like you're cheating a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's fine. But then my head is turned.
Dylan,
It
when you
seems
book a
like
commercial, you'll learn that eventually you're gonna have to cheat out and show your shoulder.
I played a doctor in a commercial. God damn it!
Did you really?
yeah?
I did.
When was this?
Commercial?
It was for some Signify thing
Was this recently?
in December.
Nice.
Did we
That's
see?
awesome.
Did you ever send it to us or anything?
No,
You're a
I'll
schmuck.
send it to you. I got to
You're-
reach out to them and get it. I had one line, but then it was a lot of. It was a 2-day shoot. It was a lot of then me walking up to buildings.
Is it any less awkward than the one I made you, the Medi-Cal audition you had me read with you?
Well, mine was my scene partner was this elderly woman, and my own. You just telling to
Fall asleep.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I think anytime that anyone tries to name drop or talk about the industry, you instantly need to fall asleep. I think that's
I
the
wasn't
only
talking
rule.
about the industry. I was
No, you
just
talk-
saying
you
it's
name dropped.
I
You
did
name drop
name
for
drop.
no-
I
for
did
no
name drop.
reason.
Jesse Plemons a good name drop though.
That is a good name drop. It's
well,
believable.
it looks like you had a really riveting conversations about his backpack size.
No, I did.
Yeah, you guys won't believe this. Jesse Plemons is wealthy.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but it never dawned on me that people can have that they can travel with less stuff because they got a separate
it's
home.
Let me
called
ask you
just
this,
getting on
though.
a plane.
Let me ask you this. You're Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
You go shopping in L.A.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
get a few outfits that you really like. Mm-hmm. Then when you go back to New York, do you go to that same store and get the same? Because like, what if you're your
That's
LA home?
psychopathic to me.
But what if you're like, fuck, I want to wear that shirt, but it's in New York?
That's what my thought is. I think he probably has like a copy wardrobe.
Or you go to your assistant and you say,
Yeah.
"Get me this shirt in an hour, or I'll kill you."
Yeah.
And then you just
Wait,
give
wait,
it
wait,
away.
also
wait,
it's in a
do you
Signify
guys think
commercial.
that's what it's like to be rich? Is just to buy the same outfit in a different city so you have it there too?
That's what I would do.
That's exactly what I would
Yeah.
do.
That's what I do for Lucky Brand jeans when I go pick
guys
up a
like-
new
are
pair.
you guys
of
just
jeans.
NPCs?
I would have 2 of every outfit in each city and breathe a sigh of relief every day, which is something I've never experienced.
So what is the NPC thing? Because it's like,
Haha.
yeah, explain to us,
A lot
young
of,
man.
yeah, so you old fucks. So NPCs are basically when you play Grand Theft Auto and then you like walk by a person,
Yeah.
and they say like the same generic sentence. They're like, I don't think that was deserved. I don't think that was
No,
deserved.
I think it was because that was his
asked the
plan.
question.
The whole, yeah, but that was
He
his
had-
plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Plan
It was
whole
the
time.
setup. He got you. He got you, you
set you
bitch.
up. I set you up.
Sorry,
you
that
son
was
of a
aggressive.
bitch.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. It's okay. This is an aggressive podcast.
And remember,
Okay.
it's Eric
They-
on his mom's computer on the other end of this. That you're apologizing.
Don't worry,
to.
this is all being streamed to the Daily Wire, so no one's going to need you to apologize.
I would accept a Daily Wire deal right now.
I know
I'd
you would.
accept any deal right now. You
Flapper.
kidding me? Flappers has a podcast.
Clapper. He said Clapper. Talked about the one thing that you're putting actual stake and money into.
I'm not
Clapper.
putting that much time into Clapper. I'm really trying to grow the YouTube. I feel like YouTube is the new thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna hear this in a month. He goes, in a month from now, Eric's gonna. You guys ever heard of TikTok? It's the big thing everyone's trying to get on right
Man,
now.
YouTube's gonna be huge.
YouTube is huge. It's fucking saturated, dude.
It's been out for 20 years.
I'm telling you.
No, I'm with
no,
Eric.
dude. It's longer, dude.
I'm with Eric. I think
Okay,
YouTube's
but,
going to be a
like-
big deal.
Guys,
Yeah.
have you heard of this thing? NBC, Channel
NBC,
4.
Yeah.
fucking
You got
huge.
to adjust your rabbit ears, but I think that's going to be
gonna be a hit.
There's going to be tons of
got some
drama,
stuff.
comedy, news.
Oh, that might-
Your
that might
I don't
one-stop
want to
source.
brag about the future, but have you guys heard of these walkie-talkies?
Yo, did you guys see? I know I sent it to you. I don't know if I sent it to you guys or put it in the thread. We have a text thread for all friends.
Who are you talking to? Stop talking to your mom.
Hi, Mom. No, there's a NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Oh, and it's a fake account, right?
No, it's a fucking no. This is a thing that aired on NBC Nightly News a couple months ago, and it's Lester Holt, the
here
main
we go.
guy, and he's saying there's a mothership entering the galaxy.
It's like a live broadcast?
Yeah, it's like a live
I
broadcast.
knew he was going to go right for the alien
Where
thing
he's
as soon as he
like-
said NBC.
I mean, I'm enthralled by the aliens.
Yeah, I don't want you acting
I
like
am too.
you're like fucking over
You're
it.
like, oh, what? Nobody wants to talk about this thing that just got confirmed?
Guys, I don't have good health care. I don't give a shit about aliens.
Yeah, but what if they do have good health care that they can pass off to you?
That would be the best.
What if they have like a hospital planet?
What if
where-
cancer is the thing that they're actually like shooting at us? You know what I mean? Like maybe they're just like
now
radiating
you're,
our.
now you're spinning out of control.
Am I? Am
Yeah.
I any more out of control than Eric not knowing anything about Saturday Night Live? Am I that out of control?
Who gives a fuck about Saturday Night Live? That shit's over.
I was reaching, like, you know, that's what we like to do.
Do you know that you're carrying too much poop in your body and you would feel better if you got it out? I'm just kidding. This is still Eric. There's no ads on this podcast right now, but there is something you can do to help me out, which is right now on YouTube. Like this video and leave me a comment. It kicks it up in the algorithm, helps me get more subscribers, people that can find the content, and eventually, if you do this, I can get somebody on the podcast to actually sell you something that gets the poop out of your body. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video you're watching right now, and leave me a comment. I really appreciate it. Back to the show.
Well, no, you got to cut this.
Why?
What is this? This is a fucking podcast where you don't cut anything. It's not. Is it? Wait,
so much fucking work. To
You were literally cutting the last 5 minutes.
Well, hang on.
And if
We'll
you
do
don't,
a
I'll be fucking mad.
We'll do a
Yeah,
timestamp.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll
Got
all
it.
remember.
You're gonna act like he doesn't fucking watch back this shit
Everybody
and jerk off to
remember
himself?
one number.
Yes.
Hang on.
one.
Hang on. I'm not mentioning where you work.
Yeah, but like
But, like,
this is going to go
this
on
is
the
not the
internet,
podcast where we're
and
talking about people's fucking jobs.
people from my job
whatever.
follow me on Instagram. They never watch
Four is
anything or
too
come to
many.
my shows.
4 is too many.
Dude, oh my god. Four is too many is
Four
what you're getting
too
at?
many.
Four is too many?
Can I tell you something? So Eric called me today, and he was like, "Hey, man, so like I know you're supposed to be on the podcast today, but
this is what I wanna
but
hear.
I was thinking since like Brad's leaving in a couple days, maybe like would it be cool if he came on too?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck." And he's like, "All right, thinking about having Rob on too. You think that's a good idea?" I'm like,
Hard pass.
"Yeah, why? Who gives a fuck? It was a terrible idea. This is this is off the rails."
Ask him which episode has the most views.
Which episode has the most views?
It's Rob's episode.
Well, the real episode that has the most views is me and Liz when we did Bring in the Backups 3 years ago.
Yeah.
When you did what? Bring in the
So this
bathtub?
podcast used to be called Bring in the Backups.
Okay.
And it was like a podcast about
And now it's
backup
called
quarterbacks.
Remembering Bringing the Backup.
No, now it's called No, now it's called Podcast Hell, and it's just like a hang. But I used to do like bits and like a bunch of
It actually used to be fun.
goofy shenanigans. No, then Brad would come on and talk about his acting method for like 45 minutes. That's what I cut, by the way. I cut the fuck out of that. He's like, you really have to become the character. I'm like, uh-huh. So yeah, but
This is also the second episode I've been on that he has to bring up. So if you're going to talk about people who bring up the same fucking topic on every episode
Yeah.
they're on, it's you. I said "Gotta Be Kane" once to you in passing, never on your on our podcast. No, I'm gonna bring it fucking all the way back so we know that Eric is fucking full of shit. This is the goodbye that Eric wanted. He dreamed of it clearly.
I didn't. I said I'd take you out to dinner. That was
Yeah,
gonna
that
be
was
the
very
goodbye.
nice of you.
That
It
was
makes
gonna
up
be-
for this fucking toxic podcast
This has
we're
been
doing
fun.
right now.
This has been fun, guys.
I'm having a
We only
blast.
go for an hour. We're about.
Jesus Christ. It's only been fucking 5 minutes.
What do you think this was like
hell.
news on
Well,
the
with
app?
everything he cut, we're at about 14.
Yeah, with everything I cut.
He's gonna cut it.
No, he's not.
Yes,
No,
he
he's
will.
not.
No,
you
he
know
will.
what I actually what I do? We'll talk about what has to happen with the last 5 minutes. But I usually bleep. I like to bleep it.
Yeah.
So if I say someone's name or if a thing gets mentioned, I just bleep so you can't tell what's being said. But in my mind, what that does is it makes the people at home go, "Oh, I got to listen to the Patreon so that I
that's
can."
where-
Because
'cause
that's
the-
where they don't bleep.
Yeah.
Wait, so that's the
We're doing an hour Patreon after the recording.
we just say everything we remember.
The Patreon is just a direct video to my mom, though. She's the only person that would pay $5 a month.
So the $5,000 a month subscription.
the Hellwig leaks.
A whole episode just for you, Mom.
Isn't that nice?
I feel like we got to cut some tension in this.
There's for sure there's tension.
Is there tension? What's the tension? I'm having a great time.
I know you're having a great time. You fucking
You
toxic
fucking diabolical
son of a bitch.
piece of shit.
Jesus
Of course you're having a
Christ.
blast.
Look, we're gonna cut it. I said I don't want to say what I said, but I said I was gonna do a thing with a certain thing, which can't be on there.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just
Uh-oh,
basically
Gordon's
re-bringing
here.
it up.
Listen, if you guys want me to cut it, stop referencing the thing that I have to cut.
Okay.
Because now I'm gonna have to cut so much.
Gordon wants to come in.
Oh, can you let him in, Dylan?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You got a job now, Dylan.
Fucking dog walker too.
This is a thing that happens on every podcast. Is Gordon comes in and lays at the feet of the guests.
Very cute.
Come on
Hey,
in,
bum, 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 bum.
Yes, buddy.
So, Gordon, I heard you're going to the kennel. What's that like?
Gordon, tell us where you're from. Hello.
It is funny how Gordon walks around with the saddest puppy face I've seen in my life.
People still think he's a puppy. Even
I
though
think he's still a puppy.
How
'cause
old is he?
He's like 9. 8 or 9?
That dog thinks it's a lap dog. It's hilarious. It's
So
like
he's
a 200-pound dog just sits on you.
He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy. Oh,
He's a good boy.
you buddy.
Are you cool with dogs?
I love dogs. I'm obsessed with
this
dogs.
would be a really great time for you to not be.
I
with
did.
dogs.
I did. There's somebody was on the podcast who didn't love dogs. Kazim. Yeah, he said it. I don't know why I'm acting like I couldn't say his name.
You can beep it.
Yeah. Kazim did not love dogs, but he didn't hate him either. And then Gordon kind of won him over. But he kept calling him it.
Oh,
That's funny.
And I was like,
that's funny.
He's a he. He doesn't.
Well, that's the first time that Eric got defensive about gender. Hey, boom! Sign this guy up for NBC News.
I'm cutting that out.
BuzzFeed News.
Oh, wait a
Eric
minute.
said it.
Wait, can we
is
go?
he.
Can we go back to the Lester Holt thing?
Yeah.
So what was the significance of sending that clip? Did they take it down?
Gordon, get out of there. He's going to hit the fucking. Come over here.
He's like, I'm putting an end to
He looks
this.
so fucking guilty. He's like, I know this podcast is in need of help.
There's a podcast where he goes over to the camera and it starts shaking. It's very funny. All right. Yeah, just lay down. Just lay down, dude. What was your question? Oh,
Did they take down the clip?
no, it's just it's funny because like people like somebody like Lester Holt who's been on NBC News for like 30 years. You could fucking he's like Ron Burgundy from Anchorman. You could put anything like I fuck kids. He would say it into a mic. He doesn't think
You're not cutting
anymore.
that?
That's the real.
No, I'm saying like that's the truth.
Clip it. You
No,
clip it.
he's the perfect person to put your first hint that there's aliens. Like the first,
Like believability.
He's the perfect newscaster because he's a newscaster who's not really a newscaster. He's just like an empty.
He's a teleprompter.
He's
basically.
a teleprompter. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I found that suspicious. They put him on like a fucking bullshit news show, and they put it at the very end of the episode.
He's a cock. All right, we're just
Listen,
shitting on Lester
no.
Holt. Let's just fucking go for
All
it.
you have to do is Google. All
He's
you,
a cuck bitch.
all you,
Fuck you,
Guys,
Lester.
it's time we stop holding back.
Yeah, it's time when we really started talking about the real issues here. That Lester Holt is a cuck little bitch.
no Holtz bar.
No Holtz
Listen,
bar.
He'll say
That's a
anything.
good pod
'cause he's-
idea.
He's a coward. He'll say anything.
We
Just
gotta
tell him to say
we gotta
something.
get the real people on the news again. Let's get Brian Williams back, who lies about the war. I want that back on my
Lester,
news.
if you were a real man, you'd show up on the Erick Hellwig podcast.
Dude, this is a great promo cut right
Are
here.
you trying to hide behind Brad on the video? Come over a little bit, Rob.
Yeah, if you're gonna talk shit, say it to the camera. Don't say it behind my shoulder like I'm
No,
saying
watch
it.
Rob's clips on his podcast.
Yeah.
Half of his head is out of the shot.
He goes,
He
nobody can
leans
cancel
all
me.
the
You
way
can't
back.
see my
He
head.
leans all the way back.
It's just a
It's
blue
almost
shirt.
like I realized that no one cares about the video.
Yeah, that was Rob's advice to me on the podcast was to stop doing video.
Good
And just
advice.
Just put up audio on YouTube.
Yeah, because at least people can imagine maybe you have a nice place.
Oh, this isn't nice.
What are you talking about?
Look at this.
See these walls?
Guys,
Taj Mahal walls over here.
this is going to be
you
like
son of a
Joe
bitch.
Rogan when they reference back to the old episodes where they're sitting on a couch, you know? This will be like the white walls of the early episodes of podcasts.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah, he did like when he first started the podcast.
who's Joe Rogan?
Oh,
Oh, he's a up and coming comic.
he's
in
a
the Austin.
UFC
Oh, man,
commentator
good for him.
slash personality.
That's great.
Oh, no, he's the COVID doctor that I was
Yes,
taking
yes.
all my advice from.
When did you start drinking coffee?
I didn't. Brad got it for me today.
You don't make it sound like I force fed you coffee.
Well,
I
you
know
not.
you
I
want.
was
you don't
saying it as
drink
a nice-
coffee?
He
I don't
never
drink. I don't
drank
drink coffee.
Really? Why not?
Hey, it's me back again to ruin the flow of the podcast by asking you to like this video on YouTube, leave me a comment, and subscribing to my page. It means a lot, guys. I'm not going to ask you a third time on the podcast. There's only 2 of these per episode now. Please help me out. The podcast is free. This is the one thing you guys can do to help me get it to a place where I can be famous and never talk to you again. Thanks so much. Liking, leaving a comment, and subscribing right here on YouTube. Back to the show.
I just
Good
want
Lord.
your mom to have a good episode.
Well,
My mom loves all the episodes. She's my biggest fan.
that's because it's your mom.
Yeah.
As she should. She should be your biggest fan.
And my dad does listen to the podcast too. And what he'll do is he'll passive aggressively bring it up. He'll be like, "So you had a rough childhood, huh?" I'll be like, "God damn it." He watched the episode with me and my brother.
Oh, boy.
Where we did a little bit of
Therapy?
dad trashing on it. But it's in a fun way.
Yeah, you got to trash your dad.
Of course.
I think you do.
You got to trash both. You can't just trash one.
You trash dad and mom.
I think everyone's guilty of something. But dad definitely gets the bigger boot, I'm sure.
It's tough. It's like this is the Cosby joke. Remember where he's like, the dad helps, and then at the end, hi mom. And then yes.
I never listened to Bill Cosby.
I'm gonna cut my cock off telling the story. You guys remember?
I feel like you really wanted to do a Cosby impression. You held.
No, it's about how the dad basically teaches the kid how to play basketball. Then when the kid's wins the national champion, he just goes, "I love you, mom."
Oh,
Great bit.
that sounds like
It's a good bit.
I feel like I didn't recognize the voice because you didn't do the.
It's actually a Mencia bit. And Cosby stole it from Mencia.
I thought you were going to do the Cosby voice. Maybe that's why I didn't recognize the bit.
I can't do a Cosby voice.
You can't?
You can't? You can do a Cosby. Let's all do a Cosby. It's because you teach your kid how to play the basketball. And then he goes, hi,
pudding, pop in the pudding.
No, I just wanted to see you guys all do a Cosby.
Don't act like you're above
Yeah,
impressions.
come on.
You've been trying Trump
Give
out
us
on
a
us.
Cosby.
I didn't do it once on the podcast. You're just bringing things up.
He did it for 30 minutes in the car today.
Let's
It was just in the car. That was the car podcast.
We all
And now
share
we're
a
here at the
car.
table podcast, and I'm doing stuff a little
That's how
different.
you know we're so poisoned by the industry. Is we call us hanging out for an hour the car podcast. And nobody even blinked. We're like, no, yeah, that was our car practice podcast. No, that's called friendship. And we're like,
Obviously, I'm fucking with you, dude. Yeah,
you Trump, it's not that bad.
it's okay.
Give us your Trump. Let's all do a Trump.
Let's do a
You
Trump.
want me to do it?
Yeah, go.
A lot of podcasts here. A lot of podcasts.
That's pretty good.
Podcasts hell more like podcast boring. It's very boring.
Very boring.
The most boring podcast now.
Sounds a little bit like Bill Cosby.
It sounds a little bit like I can't. I don't know. If that's all right.
Yeah.
Is all right.
You guys know my one impression. I don't want
Putting
to do
in
it.
the podcast.
Sweaters.
What were you saying? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was saying I only have one impression, and every time
it's Ben Shapiro.
Every time I
and
do
you've done it on every episode.
It's not.
No, let's
fun.
go.
Yeah, let's hear it. Daily Wire, let's
Come
go.
on.
I don't like doing this impression because it upsets people. Okay, they know that obviously the only reason it's this good is because I watch them sometimes. All right, that's it.
The Barbie movie was a
that's
huge
pretty good.
tragedy, disaster.
The Barbie movie made me want to kill my daughters.
Jesus Christ.
I gotta say, my
it.
favorite. I think my favorite time on the internet was with the whole wet ass pussy and Ben
Oh,
Shapiro's
yeah,
wife
yeah,
was
yeah.
talking about how she can't. That was
Swipe it
just
like a credit card.
a gold mine of memes. In that
He
era.
does have a good sense of humor, though. I will say that. I've seen him like laugh at shit. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, at least he can laugh at shit.
And also, like, the truth is there is no such. There really is not bad press.
No.
Unless you're like Epstein. Like, you don't get bad press anymore, you know?
Press can
us
always
being
be,
like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, Ben Shapiro making fun of the
Yeah.
WAP video. He's such an idiot. It's like, yeah, and it got like 50 million views and a bunch of people
And
probably
people just started
followed from it.
subscribing to Daily Wire.
Yeah,
after that.
so like, who's laughing?
I don't, yeah, I think, but I also don't think there was ever bad press, period. I think that is a very true saying. Like, you know, you just, anything you can do is good or bad, but either way, if you pivot it, right, you can make a living, you can make money.
Not to bring it back, but I think Bill Cosby's gotten some bad press.
Well, that,
past few
he
years.
also was about to go on a theater
he's
tour after
selling
that.
it out. He's selling
That's
out a
good
theater
point.
tour right
All right,
now.
good point.
It's like his goodbye tour
I
because
don't,
he's
I don't
about
think
to
it
croak.
helped. I don't think people are. I think people are going to see
I don't
Bill
think it's
Cosby
the
or not.
requirement of what he did is a good idea for press, being like, you should do that and then go on tour.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fucking opening for him in Philly, so
Congrats, man.
Nice,
Thank you,
dude.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Awesome.
You going to do your Cosby impression?
Yeah. I'm only doing a tight 5 up top.
Yeah, he's got to be clean too because he only cares
Do
about
you guys
being
like
clear.
it when comics go like, it's harder to do 5 minutes than 50 minutes? It's like, only if you suck.
I think
that is an insane thing.
A type 5 is, I think it's more like if you're not a joke writer, then it's tough.
But all
If you're
you
someone
have
who's like a storyteller, and 5 minutes kind of sucks.
All you have to do for 5 minutes is tell one funny story. I'm saying, like, the idea is like people go, it's easier to do 50 minutes because you have time to warm the audience up and take them through these lulls. I think the reason most people find doing 5 minutes hard is because they suck. And that's the actual.
I don't know if
they don't get
suck.
asked to do 50 minutes that much or 20 minutes that much.
But some of the best 5 minutes you've seen at some comics, I wouldn't watch them for an hour. Do you disagree?
That proves my point that it's easier to do 5 minutes than it is to do longer.
No, I think it's a technical thing. I think 5 minutes is actually a lot harder to have a perfect 5 minutes.
But you just said there's people that have great 5 minutes that you wouldn't watch them do it for longer.
Yeah.
So that's my argument, is that it's easier to do 5 minutes than it is to do 50 minutes and stay interesting.
I don't know. I think they have their own difficulties.
I think they both have their own difficulties.
I can't believe you guys shut the fuck. Come on.
I knew that was coming from a
just offer
fucking
your
mile.
opinion. Offer your opinion.
My opinion is nobody gives a shit. No one cares. Literally no one. Not even comics.
This is why Rob.
Definitely people who aren't comics.
That is a great
don't care.
point. Because, I mean, it is. Some people can do it, some people can't. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Which is why Rob wrote all these copies for you guys to read some advertisements. Because we're on.
An alt reference to my podcast.
What's written on that notebook?
Yeah, I saw
Take
that.
it.
There's a list.
Bring it over. Go grab it. Let's see.
All right.
Let me fucking.
No. You had me go get it.
Oh God, what is on it?
Oh, boy.
What is it?
A
What is
childhood
it?
memory
All
that
right.
made you feel great.
Things to do before inauguration.
It's a joke, right?
What does it say?
Things to do before inauguration.
I don't know what the fuck that is. What is it? Can I see it before you read it?
It's very funny.
Or you just read it then.
Just read it.
Okay. Things to do before inauguration. Number one.
Hang on. Tell them what this is. This is a notebook that was
It's a
on
notebook
my
that we
table.
just found.
We didn't find it's Eric.
Don't catastrophize. 2, learn presidential line of secession. 3, pour savings into the gold market. 4, change name. 5, get unemployment in Bitcoin. 6, burn off my fingerprints. 7, buy a gun. 8, build a bunker and it's crossed out and it says move to border town. 9, read the road quotations nightly. 10, feed the dog. 11, eat my dog. 12, finish my packet. And 13 is crossed out in red. It says post on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So what is this?
I think that's an old.
It's like a bid?
Let me look at it for a second.
Up until the Bitcoin, it sounded like the
No.
scribblings
So I make-
of like
so what it is,
someone from the
I make-
1800s.
I know what it is. I make lists for myself, like of things I need to do, and then I think this was during the pandemic. I was doing joke lists and posting like stories. So I think that's like a joke list. Because also inauguration,
How many
inauguration would have been like 2020. That
How
would
many
have been
how many
like
hearts
COVID.
did that get on your story?
Or should
I don't
have
know.
been 2021.
This is an old notebook.
Ooh, let's dig. Let's see if there's
That's
any
not-
more.
we're not-
Oh, come
there's
on,
no more
man. It's
digging.
not a journal.
There's no more digging. No,
There's a list of people I should kill, and all 3 of our names are on there.
So there's these are. I got tags. Yeah, see, this is what I normally do: is I write things like meditate, YouTube videos.
Yeah, this list is definitely old.
I wrote Sage Rosenfeld's Houston Texans schedule.
Jesus Christ.
This says tune in. You know, this is this podcast sucks, man. You would think with 4 people we would generate.
I think
More
you know what the
topics.
problem is. Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Your expectations are through the fucking roof right now. It's insane. You open the podcast going, you guys better be good. You better be funny. That was my Eric, by the way. You guys better be good. You better be funny.
Sounds like Trump.
That does not sound like me.
no,
does
it sounds like Trump.
Although my voice.
No.
Be good. That wasn't
I
bad.
feel like you threw a little bit of ruffle in there.
Yeah, a little gargly.
You guys better be good.
I'm so
I feel like because
uncomfortable.
Eric has that high pitch that I can't reach.
Find out what's in the news.
No. I want whatever comes. Look, here's the thing. If we lose momentum, if we lose steam, that's okay.
You're the host.
You can
You're
always
supposed
cut
to
it.
carry the podcast. We're
Is
just
that
here
true?
to help. Yes.
Yes.
That's the whole point of being a host, you schmuck.
I don't
Yes.
I don't think I have to carry it.
Oh, see, this is why this is getting
well,
a
here's
little
the
lazy
thing.
to
I
me.
feel
If
like-
somebody else brings the momentum, then no, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But initially, you gotta,
You got to carry it, man.
you know, like I didn't come prepared with anything.
Yeah, neither did I.
Neither did I. I actually kind of did. I thought that comics doing 5 minutes, I thought that thing would
heat up.
spark.
Oh, you thought that big?
I thought
First of all, wasn't that like your
I thought that would light
Hold
a
on.
fire.
Rob had the
Time
best
out.
take on
Wasn't
it.
your universal rule of start this podcast being, we're not going to talk about comedy anymore. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to do that.
This voice is
Dude,
not.
it sounds
It's
just like
not
Eric.
me.
You guys don't hear it?
No.
No.
There, that sounds like Eric.
Yeah, I think I have a deep voice. Like when I
No, you definitely don't.
When I hear myself,
Everybody hears their voice. Like my voice sounds much deeper than
You, but
it
you
does.
do have a deep voice.
Yeah, that's
Somewhat.
what I've been
you
told,
sound
but
like
then I
you
know-
sound like fucking Beaker the Muppet.
But here,
I'm just kidding. And
I'm out of here. But here's the thing: it sounds so much deeper in my head that when I hear it, it's high. I didn't know until a
You
few
sound
years
like a
ago.
substitute teacher who's trying to discipline people. That's the tone I get from you.
Really?
Yeah.
I just don't know who I am. Anytime I talk to people, they always get a different take. I think I'm just this guy, and everybody's
Oh my God.
your voice.
Can you tell that
don't know
Dylan
who I
escaped
am.
religion? He goes, sometimes I just don't think who I am.
it's hard to find meaning. It's hard to
Hey,
find
everybody.
meaning.
Erick Hellwig, host of the year.
Should I say something untrue?
No, it's 100%. But you know where you can find meaning?
Where?
New York City. That's the answer.
You know what New York City does is like when you're about to have an existential crisis, like you see shit come out of a homeless person's asshole on the subway, and you have a thing to worry about. New York keeps
Very
you
distracting.
New York keeps
Yeah.
you constantly
100%.
engaged and constantly distracted
Yeah.
from the things.
And that's
you should
why
be working
everyone
on.
is a lot funnier over there.
It's true. That's true, but that's also why
There's more complaints. There's
That's
more
also
things.
why you talk to people in New York who are 45 that still act like they're 25 and don't realize it.
Oh, are you talking about everyone in Los Angeles?
Well, in Los Angeles, people do realize it, and then they
no, they don't.
No, they
they're
just-
they're giant children here.
they just become homeless. All the homeless people in LA
Have
are
you
just
met people who are
realized
in their 40s and
how
50s here?
futile.
They're fucking children.
I really haven't met that many people in my 40s and 50s here.
oh, that's the. Because we,
mean,
we go to
where-
open mics and they're lying about their age.
I don't think there's that many old people still.
I'm sorry, I have to check something.
That's okay.
Oh, I thought you were doing a bit.
No, he has to
I'm
check
not.
something.
I got to see if they put the lineup out so I can say I'm going to be late.
Well, that definitely derailed everything. I thought he was doing a bit.
It's, again, this is a podcast where I'm totally cool if someone checks their schedule.
You also told me not to put my phone on the thing so it doesn't
Did I say
distract.
that?
Yes, you did.
You see, that's the thing. Is like I don't know. I feel like I'm chill in some ways.
This whole time I was looking at Rob's phone.
Now, the visuals matter to you, which is why it's wild that you're waiting to put up that.
the sign.
Yeah.
Did you get the sign?
Is that like pretend? Like, how do I always never want to be pretend, but can I say like, hey, I'm coming from a podcast that's going late?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I'm gonna be
you're
running
busy.
late?
You're busy doing other things.
Yeah, and it builds some value.
Unless it's flappers.
No.
You tell flappers that they'll literally cross you off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
They're like,
no,
you're
no.
telling me that our club is not your priority? Get out.
I'm a big Flappers fan. I actually do.
We all are.
I love it.
I think everybody here is a
I am
big.
definitely
It's
not.
my favorite club in
It's
Hollywood.
my favorite club. I
Hey guys, I'm leaving, and I'll tell you this: not a fan.
yeah.
All right.
like
Well,
you're
if you're
never-
back in 5 months and somebody watched it, you'll have to answer for that.
I think I'll be okay.
I think you will be too.
Yeah.
I think you're safe on this podcast. You.
Oh,
you,
is this you?
and
Is this
you-
you? Is this you kind of coming out being like, by the way, not cutting it. I think you're gonna be safe here, man. It's so safe on this side. You'll love how it feels. You're gonna love the way you look. Guarantee it.
Say it might be a smidge late. Is that?
Say
is
it might
that
be a
better?
slight-
Dylan,
You're-
stop
you're-
being
you're-
so passive and tell him I'm on a podcast. I'm running a little late. Can you put me towards the end?
Hey, I'm coming from a podcast that's going long, even though it's not. It just
Yeah.
You don't need to say anything. You just say, I am running really late. Sorry.
I'm running late. Can you put me towards the end? That's all.
I don't even think you take. You just go, I'm running really late. Sorry. And you show
What
up.
time is it?
Literally, no one will be there. The show will not have happened. And this is a waste of your time.
Rob's in a dark place.
I'm in an honest place.
I think it's a mix of both. I see both sides. I see that he's being honest, but I see the darkness.
I don't feel the darkness as much. I'm feeling pretty good.
I should meditate, but I don't get like existentially sad. Even when things are rough, I'm like, do you guys ever just, is it helpful for you to think of like
Wait, hold on a second. You don't think you get existentially sad? Because you definitely do.
I'm sure everybody gets existentially sad.
Everyone does.
Life is meaningless. But I'm saying, like, I don't feel like I really get depressed. I kind of just think about all, like, how horribly people have been tortured
Eric,
throughout
you
history.
get
and I feel
horribly
a lot
depressed.
better.
It just comes out as pure rage.
Yeah.
But when you say pure rage, you sound like I'm, like, punching holes in walls.
Which you are. You literally punched a hole in a wall.
No, I did. Oh, well, that's different. We're talking about.
Oh my God.
Are you talking about the time I punched a hole in the wall? That's different than the hole in the wall.
That was like 2 years ago.
That's not that long ago.
You guys punch holes in walls?
Oh, I really want to though.
You
often.
ever punched a hole?
No, but I
punched a
hold
hole in a-
myself back.
I punch a hole in a wall like once every 10 years.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Eric. If I saw you punch a hole in a wall, I think I'd look at you a little different, man.
I've done it 3 times.
That's a lot of times.
Yeah, I did it one. I'll tell you all 3 times.
I've seen people on coke vendors do that.
We're just
Are you guys ready?
moving past where I said, you punch holes in walls. And he goes, no, I don't.
Well, not like all the time. Okay, first off, let me say, like, when I say I punch holes in walls.
Sure.
It's not like an inch above Liz's head. It's nothing like
We
crazy.
didn't. That's
It's
not what
by
I meant.
myself.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It's not even that. It's just the visual of you punching a hole in the wall out of pure rage.
So I'll tell you the 3 times I've done it. I'll tell you the 3 times I've done it. First time I was 17 years old, and I was in my bedroom downstairs, and my dad was giving me shit, and I realized I had forgotten to send in my like student housing for Christopher Newport, where I got accepted, and my dad was like, "Well, I guess you can't go to college then." He was just being a dick. And I just went, I punched a hole, and I did it like straight up like Andy from The Office style, like punched through straight and like cut my arm right there, like on the drywall going through. And that was a kind of a cool one because I did it in front of my dad. That was number 1.
Very cool.
It was pretty cool.
Your dad must have been like, "I'm so proud of you, son."
No, he started screaming at me, and then we got in a fight. It's crazy we've never fist fought, but we haven't.
I'm kind of surprised that's not in the history of the Hellwig line.
That's number 1.
Number 2.
Then it was 10 years later. I was in a toxic relationship. I was living in New York, and I found out the girl that I had just broken up with me had fucked my friend. And I was in my room by myself, and I gave another boom, and I like kind of fucked up my knuckle, and I think I might have chipped a bone or something.
Ooh.
So that one the wall was not as friendly for a punch.
Okay, now tell us.
Pre-war?
Pre-war?
Pre-war building.
Pre-war building?
Might have been a pre-war building. Yeah, I thought for some reason I thought you were like I went like to 9/11. I was like no, post 9/11.
Yeah, which New York were you in at the time?
It was a 1999 building.
Yeah. This was
All right, so now let's rewind to
Yeah.
2 years ago.
No, but let's say, because after 9/11, everybody stopped punching walls because they were worried about in New York, people were worried about the stability of the building.
bring down the whole building.
Yeah,
and all
right.
that.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, I punched a hole in the wall, and the building next to mine collapsed.
Yeah, which is...
It was so weird, dude. But all the other buildings stayed completely still the entire time. Anyone else find that weird?
It was weird. All three of these wall punches are post 9/11.
Okay,
I don't
so
think that's a coincidence.
let's go.
Wait,
Let's go.
I was gonna say,
Sorry.
was it because?
No, let's go to the 2 years now.
The 2 years was somebody. Well, it was during COVID, and I hadn't my
hadn't
wife
punched a wall
My
in a
wife.
while.
My wife.
He looks at the wall. He goes, "You
I
little
started-
fucking slut of a wall.
started-
You look like you're all put together. Not after me, you won't be."
The wall started acting up.
Hey, did that wall just say something to me?
Did that wall just give me lip?
Listen, none of this is what happened. I was going through COVID. It was COVID. It was depressing. I hadn't cried or been upset about COVID. I was just like, whatever. We're watching TV. But it was like a year into COVID.
We're still watching TV?
Somebody hacked my Twitter, and all I'd been doing during COVID was trying to get followers on Twitter and Instagram. And somebody hacked into my Twitter and started deleting my followers. And I punched a hole in the wall. This time I switched it up though because I'd hurt my thing last time. I just hammer punched it.
Oh, that's
so I
cool.
punched through and kind of ripped through a little bit of the wall. And then I started weeping.
Question.
I
Does anyone
wept.
else?
I love a good weep.
Does anyone else see that Eric's sitting in a dark room,
I never
manically
tried.
unfollowing people, going,
I
"Who is this
try
person?"
Not to, but when I do, it's years of tears come out.
It is so healthy to cry.
You don't
know.
cry.
I never cry.
You really gotta
and
do it.
When I do, I go. It is like it happens in like every like maybe if I'm lucky like every like 2 years.
That's the thing, and like I've noticed, and it's a thing I need to grapple with. When I start crying, I feel pathetic, which is a thing that makes me not want to cry. But I need to just be like, well,
dude.
you're supposed to feel
See, I feel like
a little
I'm the
pathetic when you're crying in like a good way.
I feel
Yeah.
all opposites of you guys. I feel like I cry a lot. Like a
You
lot.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cry like all the time, Brad.
You cry in
do.
front of us.
Yeah.
No, Brad, you cry.
I have no shame in crying. I feel so much
how it
better.
should be.
Dude,
There
I
should be
feel
no shame in
no
crying.
shame
Like
crying.
I don't cry, but there's a middle ground, Brad.
I have no fucking shame in it.
I'm kidding, folks. Crying is good. Men should be gay. Everybody's fine. We're just having
Did you
fun.
read a chapter out of Eric's dad's handbook before you
I
said
did.
Listen,
What's the title of that book?
that? My son's a bitch.
My son's a bitch. Look, I do think it's okay to cry, but I also feel like it's okay to feel like a worthless pussy while you're doing it. I think there's like there's a little balance.
I feel helpless.
I mean, I'm with you. I do feel pathetic when I cry.
Yeah, which is
it
like-
makes me feel like I never feel like I deserve to be crying.
Same. And like, and here's the thing: most of the times I cry, I am like alone. So it's a weird mind because I'm like, why am I embarrassed? Nobody knows this is happening except for me. This is getting too deep for this 4-male podcast.
No, it's all good.
Nah, man, this is a safe space.
I blew the funniest line of the podcast.
Yay!
The funniest line of the podcast I blew before the podcast. I said it in the car. Everybody laughed really hard.
Oh God, are you going to tell us what you said?
Go ahead. Tell the thing you said before.
I said, "Why aren't the three of you women of color?" And that got a big laugh in the car.
Yeah, it
And,
really
I,
did.
and then I
Hey, good times. We had to be there.
Hey, I want to.
Let's talk about other times we were funny.
That definitely will kill in the pot.
oh my god! Well, like you guys fucking like getting a divorce in the first 10 minutes.
That's
me
not-
and Dylan staring at each other like
not my
like
fault.
mom and dad are fighting. That didn't kill the vibe of the podcast.
I didn't say kill the vibe. I said it's going to kill on the podcast.
Okay, whatever.
Wait, who said what was going to kill on the podcast?
I don't know.
I said referencing other times we were funny. I said, that was surely kill on the
that's
podcast.
that was a
good.
mistake. I just got sad because
Let's all go around and say the first joke we ever wrote.
Okay, I want to go back to crying for a moment.
Okay.
So you're by yourself and you feel weak.
Weak and pathetic.
See, I only feel weak and pathetic if I'm doing it in front of somebody else. Then I feel like I got to stop myself.
I mean, that turns up the shame 100% when someone else is there. But like when I'm alone, I'm like, why are you fucking crying? But then it's a back and forth. I'm like, you need to cry. This is good.
The need to. That's what I have to do. I have to go. You need to cry. You can't.
That's the thing, because like,
Can't keep it in.
well, because it'll happen to me sometimes. It hasn't happened in a while because I've been trying to process stuff. But I remember like I was managing a cafe in New York, and it would get so stressful, and like I hadn't cried in years. And sometimes there would be moments where I'm like, you can't cry right now. This is not
Like,
the place.
especially when you're a manager, it's so hard. 'Cause you have to, that's different, though. I feel like when you're like in a position of power, you can't show a sign of weakness. Otherwise, then the people below you will think you can walk all
Exactly.
over you. I understand that point, but if you're with like, I look at it as like, if I'm with my friends, I should feel comfortable crying in front of you.
You
'Cause
should.
I look at you as you as family, so it's like I don't.
100% correct.
You are right.
You are
Yeah.
right.
And all I was saying with the manager thing was I was like, this is because I don't let myself cry.
Right, right.
Now I'm getting so stressed out.
That's why I'm like. That's how I feel too. Because I get points. I'll get moments where I get so angry that I feel like I'm gonna cry because I just never cry, and it's like this. It's like finding another way to come out. It's like, I'm going to punch a wall or something.
Right.
Fuck it.
Yeah, wouldn't do anything crazy like that. That's psychotic.
No,
I remember-
that's insane.
Especially not
That's only something crazy.
Yeah, 3 times in a row is.
it's not in a row.
Fool me once, you're a wall. Fool me twice, you're a dirty little
20
wall.
years. This is an epic problem.
Yeah.
Never again.
I think I've punched or attempted to punch one wall in my life, and I think I was
I
probably
got
in college.
0 walls. How many walls?
0 walls.
Yeah, 0.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I got to repaint these bad boys any day now. So if you're gonna,
you're gonna have to
punch
start
one,
That's a good idea.
That's actually,
but
the
here's
holes you
thing.
punch in the wall is going to add a nice aesthetic to
I also
the
can't
background.
wait till you find out that paint does not cover hole punches.
Well, the hole's black and the
I
paint's
think,
black.
but I honestly think that like black holes in the wall for him is going to be great for the theme of Podcast Hell.
do you remember?
Podcast
Do you remember?
Tell his guests at the end of every episode, hey, before you leave, punch a hole in the wall.
Punch a wall.
Punch a
Don't
wall.
sign the wall. Punch the wall.
Punch the wall, and then
It's like,
sign
it's
your
like a
and
way
with your
worse version of the Comedy Store. There's a big hole in the wall, and then like Alan Alda.
Next time you punch a hole in the wall, can you call Liz in, but make sure that Gordon's hand is in the hole? Like, can you believe
These
this?
are
And you're
these.
just scolding
This
him.
dog.
These
Oh,
are
my
these
Gordon, I
could
told
go.
you.
These got some give.
I love Eric's wall review. Eric's wall goes,
I don't know. That
I
feels
give this wall
pretty.
4.5 out of 5.
Oh my god.
That feels pretty.
You think so?
Yeah,
But
that feels pretty solid.
That's pretty tough. I don't know, Eric. You tell
you
us.
could get through this.
Yeah.
You can put an elbow through this.
You sound like
easy.
you're doing a sea shanty when you do that.
I got to tell you,
There was-
not to go back 30 seconds ago, I love the idea of doing an Instagram review thing where you just punch a hole in the wall and then rate.
And then like you see his wall.
And eventually becomes the career, which is like you are the official rating system for drywall.
Is it like, this is an honest question? Is the punching the wall thing worrisome?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
It is
100%.
worrisome.
100%.
100%.
He seemed more impressed by it, to be honest.
Well, because here's the thing. That is all. I get angry. I'm a very laid back person, so I get angry very quickly. And that's all I ever want to fucking do is just punch a wall. But
You're jealous.
Oh, so there's wall envy
Yeah,
here.
it seems
wall
like.
envy.
And like, I just picture myself doing it all like throw stuff. Or like
anything
hit something
anything
over.
where you are losing control to the point where you are physically attacking something, I feel like is worrisome.
Yes,
Because that means there's a part
of
of you that can't control being violent.
Yeah, but people, what are you violent towards? A stapler? Like, I'm not like.
Well, and here is the thing. I never do it when someone else is in the room. That's when I like really talk myself down. But like when I'm alone and frustrated, that's when I'll throw a thing. Because like I never want to, God forbid, hurt another person. But I get that craving to punch a wall. I feel like such a fucking loser.
No, I think
Guys, we'll be back next week.
I don't think there's. I honestly, this is enlightening for
This
me.
is the best podcast he's ever
because I
recorded.
don't think there's anything wrong with me punching a wall.
Well, you should probably change that.
Now here's. But this is what
Probably
I say.
change that attitude
I
pretty-
don't think it's like. I agree with him. It's not in front of other people. Like the dad one was like that's a one off. Like
And you were 17.
But yeah, I was 17. By yourself, pushed to the brink. I feel like inanimate object. No one's around.
Scream into a pillow. It's less damaging on your apartment.
Scream into the pillow. That's what you do when you're getting like
Yeah,
fucked.
that's
Like
the
that's
thing.
different.
You don't have to be getting fucked.
No, but I need to,
I have
like-
screamed into a pillow too. I don't know.
Do you know what I do with my pillows? Actually, because I got a few of them on the thing.
fuck 'em?
I know. I fuck them. I throw my cell phone in because the cell phone would just feel there would be a quick moment of just throwing your phone and watching it shatter where you'd be like, yes, this feels so good.
I love the
but
phrase.
then it would be followed by the fuck. I need to.
I love the idea of saying like I'll say it a lot in conversation. If I get mad, I go I almost threw my phone out the window because like the visual of like throwing a phone out like a multiple-story building and then just seeing it just shatter, going, oh, I don't have to use that anymore.
Dangerous
like
to
that,
throw it out of a building though, because that.
Well, I
height,
mean,
you could
obviously,
hurt somebody.
unharmed people.
What about this? What about you carry an old cell phone that you no longer use as your life is getting more stressful? You're like
an
you bring it out,
emergency
and you
break
just go,
phone.
You know what? And you're talking to somebody. You just throw a phone into a glass case and shatter it in a restaurant. But it's not a phone you use.
And it's also you also have the art department bring in the glass so you can shatter it.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
that,
shatter glass.
That's a wrap,
It's like
everybody.
shatter-free glass. It's not going to cut anybody.
It's all sugar glass, of course.
I don't think there's anything wrong with punching a wall if it's like there's zero chance that force would be put on another person, and as long as you obviously have the
Unless
finances
that
to
wall
fix
is
the
talking shit
wall.
about your mom, and then you could beat the living
Well,
shit
I don't necessarily want to say there's nothing wrong with it. I think I find it very understanding as someone who often wants to do it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's got to be a better way to filter your anger,
gotta
which
be
I'm trying to figure out.
Your anger should
This is podcast therapy.
anger should never get to the point where you lose control. If you're losing control, obviously, like, you don't lose control that often. But the point is like, you want to know that there's a limit to, like, I definitely have lost control anger wise a number of times, but to me, it's always, that's when I start screaming, and that's like the worst I get. But the I think that, like, even those I want those to be as rare as possible.
I feel like you guys should all cry at some point. I think that'd be good for all of
Do you remember the first
Be
time?
an amazing podcast.
You remember the first time you cried?
Four guys crying. Hold the mic up to your face.
Do you remember the first time you cried in front of me? Remember where we were?
Jumbo's clown room.
Was this? This is when I first got here.
Open up that shoulder, Dylan.
Is this when?
I'm punching a wall.
Was it when I first moved here?
No, it was at the Comedy Chateau outside.
Oh, when I first broke up.
Yeah, and Brett, you were sad, and we were talking, and I was kind of like, I was listening, and like,
Gordon's going.
Gordon,
Oh, he's like,
can't
no
go over
more,
there,
no
buddy.
more.
Come over here. Come over here.
Come here. He doesn't know who to go to.
Yeah, I know.
You gonna come to me? Ooh.
Brad cried.
So no. I remember
A justifiable cry, I think.
it was a justifiable cry. He was broken up, but again, for me, because I don't cry in front of people, I was like, I looked over. I was like, is he fucking crying right now? And I was like, there's nobody else there. It's just me. I was like, oh, I'm his friend. I was like, it's all right, buddy. And I started to like try to like say nice things, but the whole time in my head, I was like, he's fucking crying in front of me. That's great. It's like. And I was like, is he going to make a joke about it? But he didn't. He just like cried his tears. He bravely like wiped them away. And then we had a nice night after that.
Oh, Brad.
And it was like, he was not embarrassed by it.
Very healthy.
And it was
That's great. That's very
interesting
healthy.
because like, I'm just being honest. I'm not making fun of you. I had a moment where I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm straight. What is happening? But then after I thought about it more, I went like, that was, I don't know if I could do that. I couldn't cry. I don't know if I could cry in front of Rob. Like someone would have to die
In front of you and Rob.
No. Like if
I know, that's the
my
thing.
wife died, I would
can't-
cry in front of you guys at the funeral or something.
My preference would be not to cry in front of any of my guy friends, and I'm not saying that's the right thing.
It's not the right
I don't
thing.
like
I
to
couldn't
cry in
be
front of
right.
anybody.
But you did text me and told me you did.
Yeah,
Not to put you on the spot, but you
that's
have-
fine.
at least
but
you're
I
open
have
about
no
it.
problem
Yeah.
saying like, "Hey, had a good cry," but that's because like nobody saw it.
It's when your voice, when you're really crying, your voice trembles.
dude.
If you
The
try to
trying to
talk,
talk
and you're like,
is the worst.
I know.
like
Well,
that part is just like.
Yeah, I guess I have cried over the phone to some people. Like anytime I go through a breakup, I call my parents. They're like, "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" And then it's the.
No, but it's like, but you know what it is? It's like, oh, it's bad. No, but it's also just like that tenderness of just like getting like the validation of your family. You're just like,
Yeah.
they're like, are you like, how's everything going? You're like, "Whoa," and it's just like, fucking, your phone is just covered in tears. You know, like
it's no good.
But I think there's that's. I don't know, man. I don't know if I was conditioned this way. Now, like, if I've cried, like, I mean, I'll throw my mom on the spot. Sometimes my mom will be like, stop, because she feels bad. She doesn't want me to hear me in pain because she's not there. So it's like, I get that idea of someone, but I hate if I'm crying and someone's like, don't cry. I literally go, fuck you. Do not tell me not to feel. Like, I don't like that feeling of like, if I'm feeling something, I have to let it out or I can't function.
Don't
Like,
cry
literally.
as in like someone going like, oh, don't cry, or someone going,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
cry.
I get triggered by that shit because I'm just like, no. Like, I have to have this because if I don't, I'm going to bottle up and I'm going to feel like I've gotten so tense from holding in emotion that literally my body like literally tightened up. It happened once when I was driving. I'm like, oh, wow, why do I feel all fucked up right now?
Yeah.
Because I was like nervous to go to something. And like I felt my bones tighten up. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's literally because I just wanted to fucking explode with crying because I just didn't know what the fuck was going on.
No, we're getting close to an hour. It's a hard out, but let's. Is it? I have a song that I put on when I want to cry that makes me cry every time. You guys got cry songs?
have a
Look at
cry
this
song.
photo. No, I'm kidding. I don't have cry.
Yeah, I put on fucking
Fucking
Nickelback.
Nickelback. I've been standing in line.
Actually, I remember one time in elementary school being at a birthday party. This is the most fucked up, not most fucked up thing.
Feels like why you don't cry where this story is going.
Everybody started.
I saw a man cry and somebody shot him.
It was the clown.
Everybody started singing "If You're Happy and You Know" and clap your hands.
Oh, no.
And I went into the bathroom and started crying.
Oh wait, that's why you cry every time you get an applause break.
That's right.
You really like me. You really like me.
Oh my god! So that's your cry song.
If you're happy,
you know.
it.
Dylan does
Clap your
that crying
hands.
bit
Yeah.
on stage really well.
That's great. Do you have a cry song? No, you don't. You
I don't think it's
cry.
like sex,
I don't.
dude.
I don't have a cry song. I watch.
Sex is my.
When I'm like when I need to cry. There have been times where I'm like I need to cry, and I will watch a series of sad videos on YouTube that is very like a lot of animals. Animal stuff is
So it's
very
like crying
sad.
pornography.
Crying pornography, yeah. And then anytime a man cries, it definitely like affects me. I feel like
Anytime a
I
man
go-
cries,
like a man crying definitely affects me.
I've gotten more emotional as the years gone on as far as like art making me cry because I never had when I was a kid. Like I had that attachment to things. And now I think as your brain has developed, you can start to connect truly what things mean. I remember I saw a musical and I literally, the woman in the musical, like the husband has an affair. And she has to like overcome it, and I just started crying because like my parents just got divorced, and I'm just like, this is about this, like, and I never felt that before. And then like I started going to movies, and then I started getting emotional for the characters. I'm like, I don't think I've ever felt like that when I watched a movie. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, but I don't know. Do you guys get like emotional when you watch like movies?
I get very emotional when I watch movies.
Oh, but
I
same.
cry all the time.
Yes, that's
some of the classic,
I will cry in movies.
some of the classic Pixar movies.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
they
what was it? The
kinda
one
nailed it.
What was the one that came out during the pandemic? The one about the guy who wants to be a jazz singer. You guys see that one?
Oh yeah, the
Oh God, I forgot. But it was like Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx was the lead
Soul.
in it. Soul. That shit made me fucking. I
So-
like ugly. Cry.
I thought it was whack.
So I
You
feel,
didn't like it? You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
I didn't
I
see
think
it.
there's a very fine line where it goes into like too like melodramatic or emotionally manipulative, where I get mad.
Yeah, well, that's like that. Those early Pixar films, they
Yeah.
nailed it. Where it's like,
It's just enough.
yeah, where they like
Yeah.
Up, the reveal that
Jeez.
they couldn't have a kid was so fucking heart wrenching.
Yeah, that was heart wrenching.
Well, thanks for ruining up
I
for
get
me.
emotional.
Ruining
with some
ruin up.
Simpsons episodes. Simpsons really.
Oh
get
yeah,
to the
they were
core stuff.
great. Early
Ooh.
Simpsons, was
Early
great.
Simpsons,
Yeah.
and like I would
Yeah.
feel it when I was a kid, but I've noticed as I get older and I put it on, I think we all connect more with the. Life is such a harsh place.
Yeah.
It's
Can I-
nice to see a warm, tender moment between a loving family.
Can I
Yeah,
just
there's
say,
not enough
hot
of that.
take? I fucking did not like The Simpsons growing up. That was not my show.
Well, we got a heart out here.
Alright,
We can't be getting into Simpsons takes.
I mean, I don't
well, you
really.
got 20 minutes. You got to cut. So
You
I feel
gotta
like we
think-
got
you
20
gotta
minutes.
think.
I think I might punch that wall, Eric.
a little bit closer to the
I think
chin.
I have dry skin.
You got it.
It's probably dry skin that you're making
Until the end of
making
the
me insecure.
I did see it like 20 minutes ago, but he's not facing it. That side of his face wasn't
Yeah, like
facing
why
the
does it
camera.
matter? They don't even see
Dude,
it.
I was at an open mic and the guy's
It was more
fly
like like
was
a friend.
down
You had a
and no
thing.
one was saying anything, so I just went, "Your fly's down."
That's nice.
And
of you.
and he handled it very funny. I give him credit. He was like, "Oh my god, thank you." And he turned around like he was fixing his fly. Turned around, the fly was even more open. And I was like,
very funny.
funny. But it was a moment of like, it is crazy, and no one would say anything.
Well, that's the whole thing in like L.A. If you like tell someone their flies down, they're like, "But that person's not going to make me a writer on their
Eric is
show."
leaving his own podcast.
I was just thinking that's a great host
That's
right
always
there. You guys
that's
can
always
keep
a good
talking.
sign.
I'm gonna.
yeah.
Dude, I literally
Get
the
outta
last
here.
episode I did with him, I took a
The dog needed to get
dude.
it.
I
Go
took a
ahead.
shit in the middle of his episode, and he goes, "I'll just keep talking while you're gone."
Yeah,
What'd you talk about?
I talked about him taking a shit because he was like, he didn't say I'm taking a shit. He was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So
And I was gone for longer than
in my head,
a
I
couple
was
minutes.
like, oh, well, he's not going to go take a shit. Like, he probably needs to piss real quick. It's not a big deal. And then he was in there for like 10 minutes. So I did
Hey, man.
I did 10 minutes solo.
You couldn't hold it.
Chipotle.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's like a fucking atomic bomb out of the butt.
Myth by Beach House.
That's so you do have a song.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
I think we've all moved on that we don't have a song.
Is that a crime?
I love how that question is
Charged
like,
with
I have a
myth by Beach House.
I have a song.
Don't put it on because I don't know.
Put it on, dude. Put it on.
I don't know how royalty and shit works. I'm very nervous about that.
No, they can't. It is like annoying how they will. Yeah,
They'll
you
take
really
shit-
can't
they'll
play.
take shit down.
People say you can play up to 6 seconds of something.
heard of that, too.
before-
It's like
before it
almost like a
gets-
game show version of that.
But it's just stupid. It's like you can't like all of a sudden your the episode gets banned.
But then sometimes I listen to podcasts and they do. It's like a famous podcast.
I
And
think
they're
if
like,
you're big enough, it does. And also, there are YouTube licensed songs. There's like a whole library of songs you can play that wouldn't be considered
Oh, really?
copyright.
like there's a chance Beach House actually does just take a like an ad royalty from your show if you have ads or something. I think. I don't know.
But you don't have to worry about that yet because you don't have ads.
This is a podcast
Yeah,
about a
now we're getting
podcast.
yeah.
what do you guys think? You think this podcast has ads?
No.
No,
I actually haven't. I am trying to get an ad right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's for like something that like helps people with ADHD. It's like it's an elixir you drink.
What's the one that Joe Rogan advertises? Alpha Brain.
It's very similar to that.
Alpha Brain.
It's very similar to that.
What's it called?
It's called like
Can't say it yet. He doesn't have the money yet.
it's like my brain less hurty. I don't know. It's some like
Oh, I think I saw
Smart
that advertised
Brain
on You
or-
Made It Weird. If I'm not mistaken.
yeah. I think he's like I think it's this guy or the guy that owns it is just like sending it to every podcast and being like, try it, and then if you like it, you'll get paid based on how many listeners you have.
No, it's
So
smart.
I think he's sending it to every. I think every podcast probably.
How much
got
do you
it.
get paid per listener? Or can you not share? That's a rude thing to ask. I'm
I think
sorry.
you have to.
It's-
You have,
it's
you have to have,
fine.
you have to have a decent following to make a buck.
I make $95,000 a year.
Nice.
That's not.
Not from this podcast.
No, only from this podcast. I do my job. Go to my job for free.
God damn.
We
I worry
got
about my job because I want to.
we got to go, guys. It's a hard out.
All right. Well,
So before we leave, we should all say what we have going on and where people can follow us. Why don't we start over with Brad Stoll?
for those who are interested in my future endeavors, you could find me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Brad Stoll. Brand change. What? Yeah, you can find all my funny sketches and stand-up clips and future show dates, which will be in New York.
You can find me at The Rob Stern and check out my podcast, The Rob Stern Show. It's actually very funny.
It is.
Yeah.
If you don't want to see the actual people. On
Yeah. I actually do work as a host and
Yeah,
like
I had a
set
blog.
up.
You did well, yeah.
I set up funny things. I do like I prepare for my podcast.
Oh my god!
So when the guests come on, they have
You're
stuff to do to be
so-
funny.
so annoying.
Anyways,
You can't joke like this. I every time a podcast is done recording, I hate myself. You guys have to.
That sounds like a you
yeah,
problem.
but you have to shit on my podcast. You shit on my podcast all the time.
That's true.
But the problem is that nobody else shits with you. Brad complimented my podcast, and so did. And then you tried to get my wife to turn on me. I was like, what do you think? I was like, you did try to get Meredith to turn on me.
Meredith on the
Yeah.
Meredith was on this show,
And
and,
she
I was
was-
like,
she was going at
Rob's
Eric pretty
podcast.
hard.
That video
Yeah.
shit is nonsense.
Yeah.
She
was
stood up
not
for you.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know because she's
great.
That's a nice.
wife.
I'm very
That's a
lucky.
nice partner.
I'm a lucky
Yeah,
man.
no, look, I took a risk.
You did.
I took
No,
a
you
risk.
gotta go for it.
didn't
I
pay
get it.
off.
Dylan. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Delicious Fisher.
Great name.
It's like the word delicious, but spelled DYL instead. And I post shows and stuff and whatnot.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this was definitely podcast hell.
Come on, guys. Don't be assholes. This was fun. We had a good time.
This was really fun.
This was fun. The car ride was better, but the car ride was
Can we tune into the car ride again? I feel like there was some really good beats there.
Car podcast was fun. The only reason we had a car podcast is because I fucked up.
Yep.
Thank you guys for being cool about that, by the way.
I mean,
what, dude,
no
it
one
fucking
said
happens.
we were cool about it, but thanks for the ride.
You seemed cool about
That
it.
was fun.
Honestly, it was fun. Like, who gives a shit?
yeah.
Who
We
gives a shit?
really
Yeah.
don't care. It's
and
really
we've all been there, and like I said, in Guitar Center, it's always worse for the person than the rest.
Sure.
great sign off there, guys.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna kill myself.
No, nobody.
Hey, don't worry, we have
after
a
I cry.
15-foot wire, so we'll be good. We got plenty of wire here.
Watch the shoulder. Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.